Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm Joe Flanagan. Once again this year, thousands of Hampton Roads sailors and Marines are on long and lonely holiday deployments away from their loved ones. In the next hour, we'll try and bring them a little bit closer together. The carrier Enterprise represents the battle group this year. 13 News military reporter Mike Gooding will bring us her story from the flight deck of the Big E. You know, since 9/11, we've tried to show our appreciation for all military of Hampton Roads. Again this year, Regina Mobley, David Allen, and Velma Scaife will bring us those stories. But we begin on the hardest day for Navy families, Deployment Day. For the carrier Enterprise, it was the end of August, and for some of her smaller escort ships, it was 2 days after Thanksgiving.
We're 100% ready to get underway.
Deployment Day is the saddest day.
Hurt, missing him already, just because I know. But I gotta be strong. I got hurt, it's his job, so.
It is a day that asks for a total commitment from young and old alike. Sacrifice.
It's painful seeing your dad go out there.
Yes, Deployment Day is the hardest day in the Navy.
It's awful. You just know that they're coming home, so they're doing their job, I guess.
Have you done this before?
Yes, he just came back in May from the Deo.
USS Gonzales was first on this cold, blustery Saturday. Families gathered on board for that one last embrace and farewell. Officers, enlisted, ladies, gentlemen, and kids held out for one last contact.
Well, I'm glad they're here. I'm doing very good, and I'm anxious to get this thing started, get it over with, and get back here. When we go out for America, we come back for our families.
It's hard, you know, not having the family all together, but the sooner he leaves, the sooner he can come back.
You should all be proud of yourselves, and everyone who's visiting should be proud of your sailors. They've all done a terrific job. I want to thank you for letting them go with us and head off to do the nation's business.
Watch it down! 337 sailors saying goodbye and perhaps wondering where they will be on Christmas Day.
Well, we'll probably be underway, and we'll probably just patrolling like we normally do, and we'll take time, probably take a few minutes out of the day and just you know, think about the family and you know, just be thankful for everything we have.
USS Gonzales, USS Thorn, and USS Cole deploying. A roller coaster of emotions for everyone involved.
I'm a little sad. I'm just gonna have to pretend like it's just a 1 monther and just got my job and kids got school. So I'm hoping time will fly.
If I stay at home, I'll be more upset, but it's better for me to see him leave. Yeah, so it's better to be here.
The ship is ready. The crew is incredibly well trained and ready to go. And we are excited. And at the same time, we are so dreading leaving our families that it's tremendously mixed emotions.
We have 337 sailors ready to go. It's been a very busy year of preparation. It's been a year of preparation, we call it, for us. And we're ready to go. This is what we've been working hard for, so now it's game day.
It is the hardest day for Navy sailors and their families, especially difficult during a holiday deployment. And for many, this is a first.
I don't know. You just have to keep your spirits up, and at least we have email.
Through lots of prayer, through God. My mother's here to support me and help me out, and have a few other friends and all.
In the end, the message is simple.
We love you, we hope you're having a good time, and we can't wait for you to come home.
By now, the Enterprise Battle Group is getting down to business. For the carrier, that means fighting the war on terrorism on station in the Arabian Gulf. 13 News military reporter Mike Gooding has more from the Big E.
Well, Joe, this year it falls to the USS Enterprise to be one of the deployed Atlantic Fleet ships during the holiday season. This floating city of 5,300 sailors and officers knew going in that they would miss Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Knowing it is one thing, dealing with it is another, and it's not always easy.
I try to shoot 500 after the reach spot, and then we'll catch the helos. So waste cats, come on out.
You know, at 52,000, I need -8 knots with a temperature. It's going to be a little bit yet, because I'm gonna move aircraft aft and then unwrap the waist. If that helps you out.
Talk about a ship that's been there, done that. No sooner did they get back from leading the fight against the Taliban in '01, and here the 4-decade-old plus USS Enterprise was once again, forward deployed, steaming between the Indian Ocean and Persian Gulf, ready to do whatever the nation asks.
We're in our NASCAR phase of the pit stop. So our goal right now is to, as quickly as possible, get them all on deck and get them launched real fast, get them recovered real fast, and get them turned around real fast.
They didn't have much time to get ready. Under the Chief of Naval Operations' new Fleet Readiness Plan, the Big E did all the usual carrier pre-deployment training in the Atlantic and then shipped out directly from sea without ever coming home first. It's a compressed training cycle for the Enterprise crew under the Navy's new Surge Deployment Plan, essentially doing the same amount of work in about 2 months less time.
It's really hard. It's incredibly hard. You have very few days to jam a lot of stuff in.
We are leaner and meaner, and I keep coming back to this one word. We're faster. Speed matters in today's world. We have to be able to respond very, very quickly in many places if called upon to do so. So speed is of the essence.
Here, the good thing is now we'll stay ready and head east and at a pretty good readiness peak.
Still, all of this comes at an especially difficult time of the year, the holidays. The Enterprise sailors must put aside thoughts of home and focus on the job at hand.
We're going to miss all the holidays, so again, personally for myself, this will be the first time, so I really can't tell you from experience how it's going to be, but I'm sure the ship will make us feel as home as possible. I'm sure we'll be fine. We're one big family on board here, so I think we'll be all right.
My first cruise, we were away for the holidays, through Christmas and all that. It takes some time to get used to, but the junior guys, they just depend on the older guys. The older guys will be good with them. And once they get through it, they just realize it's just another day.
It's going to be tough because you're stuck out here, but I've been through it before. You know, you think about it. You know, you get call home, make sure everybody's okay, enjoying themselves. But it's another day that I have to do. I know it's going to be hard, but, you know, it's going to be hard for everybody.
I mean, you know, everybody's back home thinking of you, unwrapping gifts, and you're not going to be able to really do Christmas until March whenever we get home.
And it's not just the young sailors feeling blue at Christmas. Up on the Enterprise's bridge, so is the captain.
You don't have to rub it in.
I'm sorry, guy. Captain Rick Neidlinger says it's a matter of just finding a proper balance.
When it's Christmas time, as you know, Navy spends a lot of Christmases and birthdays, anniversaries overseas. We come through it well.
Have you done it before in your career?
Many times.
Yeah, how do you get through it? How do you guys do it?
Just knowing that what we're doing is important, knowing that what we're doing is really helping our families in the long run, and helping our country in a way that is unique. So with that, the sacrifice that our families are making and we're making all come into perspective.
Air RC, new track 1225, bearing 060.
Zero copies, conduct level 1, track 1225.
You're approaching a United States Navy warship operating international waters. Request you establish communications, identify yourself, and state your squawk. Over.
Zero copies. All stations TAO, set weapons posture 1. Break air, conduct level 2, track 1225.
Air break IDS.
Vampire, track 1225.
All stations TAO, rolling phase degree.
Wait! I got IFF. It's Santa.
The spirited crew of the USS Gonzales is on holiday deployment this year. One look at their mess decks, and you can see why we use the term spirited generously. The Suppo wanted to create a diner theme here so guys could kick back and relax.
The reception has been amazing, not only from the crew members on board Gonzales, but also from other ships. When they come over and they're like, wow, you know, I want to, you know, why can't ours be like that? So
it's a big deal. And so is the fact that Gonzales has been nominated as a finalist for the Ney Award. The Ney Award is for quality of cuisine.
Basically,
in the Navy or in the military service.
We won't find out the results until the first week of February, but we're very excited about what we've done here. So just being nominated as a NA finalist is quite an accomplishment. So we're really proud of that.
Now, any deployment can be a difficult one. Add to it a holiday deployment and mix in our current state of world affairs, and you can see where sailors on board Gonzales are facing one big challenge this year.
Of course, there are concerns. The issues that led up to Iraq aren't isolated to Iraq, as the Cole and the Khobar Towers incidents demonstrate. We still have that anxiety every time we pull into port.
It's a fact of life as this Aegis-class guided missile destroyer sails into harm's way, and the topic comes up quite often.
Yes, it does, but at the same time, though, even though I'm out here doing something like that, I know at the same time my family's back home and they're able to sleep peacefully for the things that I'm doing. So that, at the same time, puts you at ease.
Up here.
There are lots of ways Gonzales sailors cope during this Christmas cruise.
Just try the best you can. Letters, email. Try to stay in touch as much as you can. Hopefully you get to pull in so you can be there for Christmas. At least call.
But in the meantime, we found lots of ways for these Gonzales folks to send holiday greetings back home.
Beth and Bonnie, John, Margaret, Pat, and Cora, Daddy wishes you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we'll be home soon, safe and successful. Take care. Love you.
Gabriela, I wish I could be home, but as you all know, we're out here for a reason, and you've been very supportive of that, and I want to thank you personally for that. And I want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hi, Melissa and Casey, and I won't be there for Christmas, but I miss you, and I'll be thinking about you.
From USS Gonzales, CIC, happy holidays, Hampton Roads.
Hello, I'm SKC Dell James from USS Gonzales. I'd like to wish a happy Merry Christmas to my wife Denise and my two lovely daughters, Dell and Destiny. I miss you guys and hope to hear from you soon.
From USS Gonzales Chiefs Mess, happy holidays, Hampton Roads.
To all the family and friends of Gonzales and Karen and CJ and Mitchell, happy holidays and a Merry Christmas.
From USS Gonzales Wardroom, happy holidays, Hampton Roads.
Feliz Navidad y próspero año nuevo en el año 2004.
Mom, she's over here trying to make the tree perfect. That's fine. I'm not saying anything. Melina, you want to help us wrap? Come on, Melina.
This is how Gonzales wives are spending the holidays, supporting one another.
We actually did a couple things to prepare before Mike left. We taped him, with the girls and reading books and the bedtime routine and things like that, so that they, when they were missing him, they could kind of, have that to watch, and, I think it helps them a lot. They get excited to see it, so.
Christmas is what it says up top.
The ombudswoman for Gonzales invited families to her home. Even she needs support.
I think it's harder at Christmas time because it's my favorite time of the year, and for me it's harder for him to be away at Christmas time. I was more prepared if he was going to be gone during the summer.
Yes, these are the faces of family separation at Christmas.
This message is for Ensign Germain, and we just want to say we miss you, Merry Christmas, and we can't wait till you get back.
Hi, Dave. We want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. We miss you, we love you, and we hope that you get home to us really quickly and safely.
Merry Christmas, Jim. We love you and miss you very much. Be safe, take care of yourself, and we can't wait for you to come home.
Just one of the ships in the Enterprise battle group. Mike Gooding is with another.
Joe, one of our Navy ships deployed this holiday season is one that, if the terrorists would have had their way, wouldn't even be deployed at all. We're talking about the USS Cole. 3 years plus since that fateful day off the coast of Yemen, and now the Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer was fully repaired and ready for action. But the memories of the 17 Cole sailors who died remained, with stars in one passageway providing an everyday reminder of those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And as the ship prepared for its first overseas duty since the attack, some members of the Cole family couldn't help but worry.
I guess just because of the past, what happened, but I'm really confident that the way the Navy is now, that they'll be okay.
The way I look at it is,
these terrorists and all these other countries, they could beat us up, but they can't keep us down. That's the way I look at it.
The suicide bombers blew a 40 by 40 foot hole in this bulkhead. You've no doubt seen the pictures many times. But after 14 months worth of repairs to the tune of $250 million, the coal is as good and some say better than new.
Certainly we honor and remember the 17 fallen shipmates, but we're ready to carry out the President's global war on terrorism, and we're a significant asset, a significant tool for him to use in that, and this is just the next step in the life of this ship. And our ship, its moniker is Determined Warrior, and I can think of no ship that more deserves its moniker than USS Cole. Certainly what we went through is a source of motivation and pride in terms of our return to the fleet, and indeed all the crew looks at that the same way.
Just 10 of the Cole's current 350-plus member crew was on board when the attack happened. Ensign Braylon Cathy was just 20 and still in college when the terrorists struck.
I remember that day. I was a midshipman in ROTC. That was the day they told us don't wear uniforms. We had an incident happen, USS Cole. And the day that I picked my ship, I actually had the choice between other ships. When I saw this name, it was without a doubt the easiest choice I ever made.
Today's Cole sailors are proud to be a part of this ship's legacy. At the same time, they're also lonely being gone right at the height of the holiday season.
It's rough, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Third time doing it, so we're kind of getting used to it. I don't think we ever actually get used to leaving them behind.
I did want to be with my family, but hey, it comes with the territory, so at least I get to spend it somewhere I haven't been before.
You get homesick. You think about things that have happened in the past and, what you're missing back home, so it's really hard to leave your family.
It's hard. It's hard. I mean, I've done many of them, but this is hard. Because I have 2 other kids that are behind also, so I'm missing out on Christmas and all that. So.
The longest I've ever been away is 8 weeks, and I tell you, that was really difficult, being away and not being able to speak to family and friends. I think we're just lucky to have the amenities that we have, to be able to email family, and when we pull in to be able to call back home. I think of the guys who had it years ago and couldn't do any of that, and we're really blessed to be where we are today.
And speaking of counting blessings, the men and women of the Cole had one more message for all the folks back home in Hampton Roads.
From the crew of the USS Cole to our families and friends, happy holidays.
Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. Certainly a brave and courageous deployment this year for USS Cole sailors and its families. Now, David Allen and Regina Mobley, Velma Scaife and Linda Winters present a military tribute to all the armed forces of Hampton Roads.
Perhaps only Santa will have a better view of the skies over Hampton Roads this holiday season than the Coast Guard. St. Nick will use a simple sleigh and a set of reindeer. These coasties out of Air Station Elizabeth City will rely on a high-tech flying machine, the HH-60 Jayhawk. Many of the crew on board this day will pull several duties over the Christmas holiday. There is the Homeland Security Detail, a fairly new assignment for the Coast Guard, as it keeps closer watch on the ships that sail into our ports, as well as the crews who sail with those ships. And there is the Coast Guard's more typical search and rescue detail. Coasties say they try and keep their time away from family during the holidays in perspective, especially given what's going on in other parts of the world.
It's nowhere near as bad as the people who are deployed overseas right now are having it, so it's not as bad as you might think. Swimmers away, swimmers in the water, swimmers okay.
On a chilly day in the Chesapeake Bay, aviation survival technician first class Mike Odell puts in his final few jumps. After 20 years and a handful of holidays apart from family, he's retiring as a rescue swimmer with the Coast Guard in February.
Swimmers inside the cabin, hoist complete.
Mike may be in front of a warm fire for the holidays, but his wife won't be. She's a coastie too, on board one of the cutters. If they end up seeing each other, it might be a moment something like this, a shout out from the skies to the deck of the cutter forward.
This is going to be the first Christmas we're apart. I've known her for 8 years. We've only been married for a year. But having her gone for Christmas is going to be difficult. So it's going to be difficult, but it's part of the job. Roger that. Have target in sight.
Aviation flight mechanic third class Eric Kramer tries to keep his focus on the bigger picture. Kramer's been with the Coast Guard for 10 years.
We're doing it for your country. We're definitely not doing it for the money. Yeah, it's bigger things than that, I guess.
Lieutenant J.G. Steve Bond, a pilot, has been with the Coast Guard about 3.5 years. His wife is also a Coastie, an aviation maintenance chief. He tries to see the big picture as well from the cockpit of the chopper.
It sounds kind of corny to say they're doing it for their country, but it's just a good reason, a good purpose, and hopefully has a good end result to it.
The crew says it's nice to have the holidays off, but it's not really something they can count on in their line of work.
We're a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week service.
Bring your basket inside the cabin, hoist complete.
Like many military families, these Coasties say you do what you have to do to make the holidays work. You may celebrate Christmas a few days early or a few weeks late. It's all part of the sacrifice that goes along with service to your country.
The hard part comes in when you have family coming in or out of town, but you work it out, and you have Christmas when you can.
Send the line down. Get 1 table, 2 chairs. You gotta bring those in.
These Marines are from the Marine Corps Training Center in Newport News. This is Operation Bicycle, Marine on the Roof. The mission? To brave the cold on the roof of a local Walmart and stay there until they collect 200 bikes for needy children.
I think every kid wants a bike and a Barbie doll.
When I got my first bike, it was a joyous thing to me because, growing up downtown Newport News, it was a struggle for us. So, it's a great experience to help out in the community where I can.
Fort Monroe got the cause off and rolling with a truckload of bikes in all sizes and colors. Some even came with helmets.
This one comes with the helmet. This one's with safety conscious Fort Monroe.
The post commander helped unload the 32 bikes purchased with donations collected at the base.
Thank you, sir.
Knowing that a lot of families are going through some tough times right now, and this is just a little spark to help bring some joy into the life of these kids.
And for many children, there's nothing like a bike to deliver that magic on Christmas morning.
There's nothing like a shiny new bike on Christmas. And so, just because children are underprivileged doesn't mean they don't deserve something brand spanking new of their own.
If you think about it, you'll probably remember your first bicycle, especially if you got it for Christmas.
It was one of the Stingray bikes that had a banana seat and a sissy bar on the back.
It was a big blue and black beach cruiser back in 1983.
A pink bike with little ruffles, and I do remember that. Fun bike to ride.
To ensure more memories like those, Santa can always use a little help.
It is quiet now. The hangars, the revetments stand empty in the gathering dark. On the ramp, only the soft hiss of sand, moved by the constant wind, disturbs the silence. Once the sounds of war filled this place, the sounds of great engines, the mottled gray shapes that flashed down long runways to rise quickly in the air. They are gone now, the ramp crowded only with the memories of those who were there. Memories of another time, of another Christmas, a Christmas far from home, a season of joy and time of war. But there are others of us, our brothers and sisters in arms, who even today are far from home, who daily put their lives at risk to keep secure those benefits of freedom so hard won. Lord, we ask you to be with them tonight. Be with them wherever in this world they may be stationed. Be with those who serve in your good name. They are the best of us. They are always in our thoughts. Good night, and God bless.
What a terrible time to be away from your family. And so I think it's our job to reach out and lift people's spirits and play some wonderful holiday music. And we like to do that all through the year, but like you said, this is a time when people are lonely and need that kind of boost, and to remind them of the good things about this country.
Inclement Moore's Day, Santa had to depend on a sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer to make his Christmas rounds. Well, a lot has happened in 150 years, and today Santa has some other options available. Options like the F-15 Eagle, an airplane he used to make a special pre-holiday visit to Langley, where he was greeted by our own Staff Sergeant Sarah Granger and a trio of Christmas musical favorites.
The community to support what's going on around the world and support our troops, which is so important. Really, our #1 mission is not reaching out to the community, as I've mentioned before, but it is taking care of the troops. And so we do concerts for them to build morale. We make CDs that we send overseas to the actual members when they're deployed. We have concerts for children of the deployed troops and CDs and things to bring the families in and keep everyone in support of what's going on.
Find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So we get, for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Meet Sergeant David Easy and Specialist Susan Oliver. They are assigned to Fort Story in Virginia Beach, but are part of the 7th Transportation Group at Fort Eustis in Newport News. They're just back from the war in Iraq and are about to meet the soldiers of yesterday. Our tour guide, John Corstein, takes us to Lee Hall Mansion in Newport News. From this home in March of 1862, Confederate Major General John Magruder directed the defense of the peninsula against the advancing Union Army.
I think we ought to go in, and I'm going to take you right into where Magruder's headquarters was. So let's go on in.
Once inside, the colorful Corstein told us how Magruder held off Union troops, but by May, Magruder was forced to retreat.
It says there lay General Magruder in his bedroom, worn out by the arduous duties of the last 4 weeks, a strain that could have killed any man. But when told about the impending retreat, General Magruder leaned up on his elbow with tears coursing down his cheeks and pointed at his little army and said, "Sic transit gloria peninsula," or "We leave the peninsula with fleeting glory." And when the Confederate Army left here, they were never to return.
From ground forces to naval forces, Corstein took us to the Mariners Museum, where we learned about the 1862 Battle of the Monitor and the Merrimack in the Hampton Roads Harbor. The Battle of the Ironclads was a draw, but it changed military history.
This is where, from thenceforth, no wooden ships, no sailing ships. They're all going to be steam-powered, and they're going to be made out of iron. It's a revolution in naval warfare.
9 months later, the Monitor sank during a storm, taking 16 men with her. This red distress lantern on display at the museum was the last thing to go down.
And several crew members were looking back at their former ship, and this lantern was hanging from atop the turret, and all of a sudden it was gone, and they reflected and said, "The Monitor is no more."
Our soldiers saw up close the famous Monitor turret, which was pulled from the waters off Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, in the summer of 2002. The turret remains in a tank designed to preserve the war stories of yesterday. Corstein then told us how the 1862 sea battles in Hampton Roads got the attention of the president.
Abraham Lincoln actually comes down to Fort Monroe on May 6 and orchestrates the capture of Norfolk himself.
At the Casemate Museum at Fort Monroe in Hampton, our soldiers learned about the fall of the Confederacy and the incarceration of Confederate President Jefferson Davis. Before leaving Fort Monroe, Corstein shared with our troops how the lessons of wars from the past can be applied to the conflicts of today.
Whether you were a World War I doughboy, whether you were a Civil War soldier, you believe in a concept of freedom that is very special.
Our final stop on the tour was downtown Norfolk's MacArthur Memorial. Our tour guide is Director Bill Davis.
The memorial, the main building, is located directly behind the statue. That's where General and Mrs. MacArthur are buried, as well as 9 permanent galleries that trace the general's life and the life of those who served in the armed forces from the time of the American Civil War through World Wars I and II, the occupation of Japan, and the Korean War.
Through pictures, artifacts, and historical documents, Davis took us through the 5-star general's 52 years of service to the nation. Our soldiers were captivated by this mural, which depicts the Japanese surrender on the deck of the USS Missouri. Here, the general made a short speech that still resonates today.
We need not to think about what we had done on the battlefield, but we need to think about the future.
Reflecting on the soldiers of the past, our soldiers of today now have a better understanding of military history in Hampton Roads and their roles as peacekeepers. Did you know that this region was full of so much military history?
No, I did not know that. Especially when we went to Fort Monroe, I've learned a lot from that. Different spots in Virginia.
When I see the pictures, the actual pictures of soldiers in the trenches and really fighting it out, it motivates me because we have it, well, we have it a lot better than they had it back then.
As these young soldiers head back to their base at Fort Story, they pray that their comrades who are still deployed overseas will soon make a safe return home.
The Grand Illumination Parade in downtown Norfolk is just that, a grand illumination. And it's a great place to find Hampton Roads military families who know what life is like when you're stationed away from home at Christmas.
Well, I hope that they're thinking about what's going on back home, not trying to ponder on what they're missing and trying to enjoy, you know, what they're doing with the packages they're getting, and everybody back here is rooting for them.
I know it's tough. I was married to the military for many years, and it's very hard on your families. My heart goes out to every single one of them.
There was a great turnout for the parade this year, and as you might expect, great support for our troops and great concern at the same time.
Sure wish we were back here and not over there. Well, at least they're over there protecting us, and hope they take care of themselves over there.
Come home safely. You know, I've seen so much devastation on TV, and it's just terrible. I just hope that they get home safe and happy.
I think it's a tough time, but I think with prayer and communication, they'll make the best of it.
The holiday spirit was evident. People seemed ready to celebrate the season. There were military dependents who've been there, done that when it comes to holiday deployments.
Oh, I think it's really hard, especially at holidays. Most of the time, my mom was gone during the summer, so when most of the kids are out of school doing summer things, my mom was away. So you just kind of have to stay in touch and make the best that you can out of things.
Oh, it's really hard, so it's always important to get letters from your home and keep you going, keep you happy.
Yes, 'tis the season to be jolly. That can be hard to do if your family is apart this time of year.
It's very sad, very sad. I can say God bless you, doing a good job. Wish you were here.
Well, I really think that they're doing a good job, and we miss them deeply. And I hope that God will be with them.
I know it's tough for them right now that they're not here, and their families, especially around this time of year, is really hard for them to be gone. But just hanging there, and we're all our hopes and everything is still with y'all.
Yes, with some 70 units, they come in all shapes, sizes, and sounds in this holiday parade. But this being Navy Christmas, it wouldn't be complete without the Atlantic Fleet Marching Band. The sounds of the season and the sounds of Hampton Roads. About the time the Hurrah Players passed us by, we met an Army major with 16 years experience.
You miss your family, but what you're doing is important. I was in Panama over Christmas one year, and then in Kuwait over Christmas another year. It really brings home the importance of the holidays. You understand what it's really all about, the spiritualness of it, and the family. But then you get back to work and you do what you're supposed to do.
Did I mention I knew some people in the parade? Linda Winters in yellow jazzercises when she's not producing newscasts for 13 News. Oh, and my daughter Allison is second from the left here with the Gene Wallace dancers. And my other daughter dancer is Adrian, waving to the camera. That takes care of my family, but how about the McCullum family?
Well, it was kind of bittersweet. I was proud of him for what he was doing for our country, but Christmas is not the same without your loved ones.
Theda's husband Randy spent 25 years as a Navy corpsman.
I pray for him every day, and I think about him having been there along with my shipmates and co-military. So I think about where they are and how life must be for them, and just lift them up and encourage them. Stay in touch with emails and letters with their friends and their families.
Well, I hope that they're, I mean, I know they're remembering their families, and it's really depressing this time, but just to remember that we're all thinking of them here, you know, that we're all remembering them even though they're overseas.
It was a great night for holiday spirit, and it was a great night for the spirit of patriotism. Rosetta Williams' husband spent 32 years in the Navy.
I pray a lot for them because I know it's a hard time to be away from your family. Some of them are so young, away from home for the first time, and they're unsure of what they are facing. And I do pray a lot for them. I pray for the whole nation. And I hope that we're a country that we have to get in, get it done. It has to be done. So our young men and women, I applaud them. My hats are off to them. And I pray for them all the time.
A grand illumination.
For one Hampton Roads-based military family, Christmas came a little early this year. In fact, 2 weeks before Halloween, when one Army National Guard reservist came home from Iraq for 2 weeks R&R. Private First Class Dijon and her mom, Diane, flipped through a few photos of the soldier's time in Iraq. She is a member of the Army National Guard 229th Military Police Company based in Virginia Beach. The 21-year-old got called up, though, and has been a tower guard in a prison near Baghdad since last February.
I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm doing it, so it's interesting. I like the experience, but it's time to come home. I'm ready to come home.
So come home she did, briefly as part of the Pentagon's Rest and Recuperation Program. But soon enough, Dijon was packing up to return to duty that she and her mother know full well is very dangerous.
And it's still serious. And I just feel bad for a lot of people because people are dying every day. And it's combat. It's still going on.
It's very scary, a lot of sleepless nights. I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning wide awake for like 2 hours every night. But hopefully it'll end soon and she'll be able to come home, go back to school.
For now, Diane keeps the yellow ribbon flying, and Dijon can only ponder the holiday season she is missing back home.
I'll miss my family because we're real close and we're always celebrating the holidays together. So that'll be hard just thinking about them. I know they'll be celebrating, having dinners and things like that together, and I'll miss out a little bit, but it'll be okay.
How do you think you'll get through it? I mean, you know, Christmas Day comes and it won't seem much like Christmas in the sand in Iraq.
Friends over in Iraq, and we'll just have to keep each other happy, keep our spirits up. But I'll be missing them. I'll be thinking about them because I have a little sister, and I miss her so much growing up and things like that. And my nephew, so it'll be hard thinking about them. I'll try not to be too sad though.
One of the ships that makes up the Enterprise Battle Group is the Spruance-class destroyer USS Thorn, an oldie but a goodie.
When the sailors are at sea and they're out there doing their job, that's really when they're the happiest. So it may sound sort of odd to say that, but they really are. They're happiest at sea when they're doing their job.
Charles fits the mold as a Command Master Chief, 22 years in the Navy, and this is his 4th Christmas at sea. He knows how much his sailors will miss their families, and he finds meaning in their service.
And we know that what we're doing enables them to have the life that they enjoy now, that enables them to have the homes that we enjoy and to have the type of Christmas that we're used to. So that makes it worthwhile. Never good to be away from home, but we certainly know that what we're doing is important and that it's worthwhile.
The Thorn operates on gas turbine engines, and in central control, we met GSM-1 Felix.
Out of 13 years, this is my first time away during Christmas time.
Wow, how are you going to do it?
Hey, it's going to be pretty tough, but with prayer, we'll make it.
USS Thorn was commissioned in February of 1980. The schedule now calls for her to be decommissioned after they return from this holiday deployment about 3 months once they get back. 24 years of service. Thorn's skipper came aboard as an ensign years ago. He says he won't let anyone use the D word decommissioned until after this other D word, deployment.
I'm certain because of this crew that the Navy is going to regret decommissioning this ship. She's in great shape. She's ready for another 24 years, but we know what physical reality is all about, and it's our job to keep her ready until the day we turn out the lights, and she will be.
And he spread the word all the way down to the junior sailor of the quarter on Thorn.
Well, to get it, I've worked a lot, worked really hard, got my surface warfare pin, and it was pretty good to be recognized by the whole ship as one of the best on board.
Now in CIC, Josh works with sailors who can remember when communicating with home seemed to take forever out here.
My first deployment, I would send my wife a letter. She would get it about a month later. She'd reply to it, and I'd get it maybe a month after that. Communications were tough back then.
And it's tough now, being away at Christmas.
Well, last Christmas I had duty, so I didn't really get a chance to spend it with my family. So this Christmas I'll be overseas. That's 2 in a row. I guess I had to get used to it.
To be honest, I really don't know what to expect since it's being my first one away and stuff like that, but I write letters with my family and stuff like that and email. Should be all right.
And MS-3 Martin has some plans to make everyone eat well at Christmas time.
We're planning a big meal for the crew. Turkey, steaks, a lot of good food. Hopefully make it as pleasant as possible being out to sea.
And so, from the Thorn to you...
From the Chief Petty Officer's Mess on board USS Thorn,
Happy Holidays, Hampton Roads!
I'd like to say hello to my wife. I love you, and my son. I'll see you soon, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
From USS Thorn Wardroom, Happy Holidays, Hampton Roads!
I say a Merry Christmas to my beautiful wife and 3 lovely kids, Nikki, Megan, Felix Jr., and Audrey. Merry Christmas, and Daddy will be home soon.
Welcome to the 2003 USO Holiday Show. For 14 years, the USO has done its part to roll out the red carpet for military families that are separated during the holidays. This year's location, Hangar SP2 at Naval Station Norfolk, and the party is bigger and better than ever.
I want a book fairy.
A book?
And Kim possible book bag.
A book bag?
Kids lined up to tell Santa what they wanted, and of course they had a long list. Moms have a list too.
It's kind of rough. The kids miss him. They're waiting for him to come back. And the first Christmas holiday he was gone, I was newly pregnant with her. So it's hard.
Are you going to roar like a lion when I give it to you?
The USO of Hampton Roads works hard each year to make this Christmas party a success. Military Boys and Girls Clubs perform, vendors of all sorts donate their services, and holiday greetings are taped by Cox Communications.
Last year was the first time we decided that in the military, if you stay in, it's either you are deployed, you were deployed, or you're going to be deployed. So our theory was everybody needs to be here.
Their faces told the story.
And the more people we can help to make life, to make life easier on them, and to put a big smile on their face to increase their quality of life, it makes our job, the effort, the time and effort well worth it.
The message was clear, people leaning on people to make it through.
It's hard, but if you have a support group, then it's just fine. If you got the support and the help, and if you always have someone to call at any time you need somebody, then it works.
Thank you for your service. I appreciate it. God bless you. Merry Christmas.
One of the new faces at this year's party was Edna Grin and his wife, Tony.
T-shirt right around the corner on the table. See that guy in the funny hat? He'll give you one. Mouse pad. There you are. Merry Christmas.
This couple from Arizona hit the road just after 9/11 in an effort to express their patriotism somewhere, somehow.
We're too old to sign up to serve, and
And so we did the first trip around, and then we thought, what can we do? And it evolved into a military situation.
There's a tremendous need. Most of the people that pull the weight, who do the hard work, you know, in any of the branches of service, these are the folks who make very little money. And to be able to hand them anything that's a tangible thank you and say, we really appreciate what you do, that's a fantastic thing. So, and, you know, for us, I think we get blessed more than the folks that we work with.
They operate a national business that distributes sample products door to door. Ed estimates he spends 20% of his gross earnings on military appreciation like this.
My wife and I are just proud to be Americans. We're proud to live in a country where we can own property and own a business and do the things that we do. And our little part is to just give back a piece of that. You guys do the real hard work, and we appreciate what you do. Thank you so much. Log on to www.americastruck.net, and you can get one of these items sent to you at no cost wherever you are in the world. Thanks very much.
Thank you for believing that liberty and freedom are two concepts worth fighting for. Merry Christmas.
America, oh, sweet America.
Families with sailors on the carrier Enterprise were here, but their spirit was somewhere else.
It's very hard. I wish he was here to help me, but he can't be here, so. But we're getting ready to go back home for the holidays. So we're supposed to be leaving, I guess, sometime next week to go back home to our home in Texas, and then we'll go visit his family in Alabama.
The way things are going, our deployments are uncertain lengths now. We may be longer, we may be shorter, and this helps to ease some of that uncertainty that the families go to. I think you'll see that everyone's pretty excited today. They're all bonding together. They're going to get to send a nice Christmas message to their loved one overseas, and we're happy to be part of it. We're real thankful for USO and Cox for doing this.
Oh, and we wanted to wrap up our look at this USO show with a holiday greeting from the CO to those away on holiday deployment.
Hey, shipmates, to everybody overseas, Captain Jerry Becker from Naval Station Norfolk. On behalf of the entire Navy family here in the Hampton Roads area, we want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and we thank each and every one of you for what you're doing out there for us today. Way to go, shipmates. Thanks.
Towering above me is the bow of the USS Saipan. Back in 1986, Saipan was part of the Kennedy Battle Group in our very first Navy Christmas program. We met a sailor's newborn infant son that year by the name of Timothy Rowland. Well, now, young Timothy is a junior in high school at Kempsville High School. What's that old line about time flies when you're having fun? Here's a look.
Wake up. Hey, come see your father.
Infant son Timothy was only 2 weeks old, and we were able to take a videotape from Virginia Beach and show his dad on board the carrier Kennedy in the Mediterranean Sea what he looked like.
Oh, that was like, wow. It brought reality to it. Even though, I mean, I saw that tape. I remember going to bed that night, waking up the next day, wasn't sure if this was real. But that tape did bring reality to it. It was like, wow.
This is what that 2-week-old son Timothy looks like now. He's a junior at Kempsville High School, and his parents like to remind him of his Navy Christmas stardom in 1986.
Yeah, they like to say that I was on one of them whenever it comes on every Christmas.
I love this song. I think this should be the official Christmas song for Navy wives.
Linda Rowland remembers well that tiny Tim.
It's just hard to believe when you have children how fast it goes. You think it's going to take forever, and before you know it, it's there. You've come to a point that they're grown, and it's just very hard to believe.
Since 1986, Linda's become a regular Navy Christmas viewer.
And how much pleasure that show every Christmas it brings to us. It got us through a hard time. We now think of all those wonderful memories years later. So it's been a part of a tradition in our family.
All of us at WVEC TV are proud to be a part of this annual Navy Christmas program. Now 18 years and going strong, and we hope it's become a part of your holiday traditions. For the families who sacrifice so much, we say thank you. And to those serving on the front lines of peace on earth, goodwill toward men, we are forever grateful for your call to duty. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm Joe Flanagan.
As Woodrow Wilson once said, the world must be made safe for democracy. And thanks to the United States military, our freedoms are safe and protected. Not everyone in the world is able to enjoy the freedoms that we have in this great country of ours. Please remember that the next time you make a choice in religion, clothing, or speech. We at Taco Bell are wishing for a new year filled with peace and the preservation of the freedoms that we know and cherish.
We hope that this year's Navy Christmas has helped shorten the miles between the military far away and the families here in Hampton Roads. Please take a brief moment and think about the military men and women. Our cherished freedom would not be possible if it wasn't for them and their bravery.
On behalf of the Taco Bell family, we'd like to wish you a safe and joyous holiday.
Season's greetings from the employees at Northrop Grumman Newport News.
We hope you enjoyed the show, and on behalf of the management and all the employees of Smithfield Foods, happy holidays.
What a great program, and tribute to our military men and women and their families. Once again, I'm Bill Putnam, Vice President and General Manager of USAA's Mid-Atlantic office in Norfolk. We'd like to close by sending a few special wishes from members of our own USAA family to their family members serving overseas.
My name is Sharon Burks. I'd like to wish my son Nathan a Merry Christmas. I miss you and I love you.
I'd like to wish my husband, IT1 Blakely, a Merry Christmas. We love you, the wife and kids.
Happy holidays to my husband Will and the dedicated men and women of the Enterprise. We miss you and we wait your safe return.
We are the Bootons, and we'd like to wish my brother Nathan a Merry Christmas.
We miss you, Uncle Nathan.
I'm Rebecca, and on behalf of my family and friends, I'd like to wish Jay, Matt, and David a Merry Christmas. We love you.
We hope you've enjoyed this program and that it has helped you to feel closer to your loved ones. To all our military members serving overseas and to their families here at home, from all of us at USAA, Happy Holidays!